The Israeli regime does not have a constitution. You know, in Poland you have one constitution. What's a constitution? A legal system. Because why to have one legal system when you can have five? So back in Palestine, we have one set of rules that are applicable on you as a person born to a Jewish family. It doesn't matter where you live on the land of Palestine. The other four are designed for the rest of the Palestinians who remain in Palestine. This map is taken off the website of the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If you care about them, just send them an email to remove it. If you notice, on this map they say there is no data. The State of Israel controls every inch of the land of Palestine. They have data on everything. But why on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs they say no data? Because why to tell you? Why to let people know? Why to show the entire truth? As Mark Twain said, half-truth is the most cowardly of lies. The narratives are covered with half-truths. Once again, if you are born to a Jewish family and you live on this land, you are subject to one set of rules. That's it. Like if you are a Polish person in Poland. If you are born to a Palestinian family, you are subject to one of four separate different rules. One set of rules is applied upon the survivors of the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. The founders of the State of Israel, the nearly 70,000 militants, managed to remove not only the residents of Jaffa, but residents from more than 530 Palestinian communities. 750,000 members of Palestinian families were forcibly displaced, never allowed back. That was 85% of the indigenous population there. 15% remained. They make up to 2 million people today. In 1949, the State of Israel invented its first military rule, and that population was subject of that military rule that lasted until the year 1966. Then, they decided to change the rule to a civil law. By today, the State of Israel has 65 different legal system, laws, not legal systems, that's one legal system. 65 different laws that maintain a primitive and inferior status for those who were born to Palestinian families compared to those who were born to Jewish families. Now those laws, if you read through them, they can either be racist in script and practice, or beautiful in script but racist in practice. I don't have time to go through all of those rules, but I can tell you one distraction. Israeli election law. You know, many people say like, oh, Arabs in Israel aren't allowed to vote. And it's like, why do you call Palestinians Arabs? Why do you call them Israeli Arabs? Because they don't belong, you know. Israeli election law, if you read through it, is more advanced than the Polish election law, and it's more beautiful. And all the text in it is a distraction from a very important line that sounds like this. No party is allowed to run for elections if they negate the Zionist Jewish identity of the regime. So as a non-Zionist, non-Jewish person, you're allowed to vote, but there is no party that will call for your equality is allowed to run, you know. Many people say, oh, there is no equality in the State of Israel between Arabs and Jews. And it's like, no, it's not no equality. Equality is illegal, and that's different. Because equality is illegal by law, equality is illegal by the nation-state law, and by the election law. And you can look at urbanization, you can look at the 60, those are a lot of laws, 65. That's one of the four systems. The second Israeli system is applied within 73 square kilometers area, within those black lines. That's the Israeli boundaries of Jerusalem. If you are born to Jewish family and you live there, you are treated like anybody who is born to a Jewish family in Palestine. If you are born to a Palestinian family in Jerusalem, you are not mistreated the same way as a Palestinian family in Nazareth. That's a different set of rules that considers you a permanent resident of Jerusalem. There is nothing permanent about your presence in Jerusalem because the state has been squeezing you out of the city. One of the regulations applied on so-called permanent residents of Jerusalem is that if you lived outside those boundaries for longer than 3 years, your permanent residency card will be revoked, and there is no way on earth to go back to your family's home, not to live, but let alone to visit. And it doesn't matter if you lived as far as Bethlehem, which is the place where I was born, or you lived as far as Łódź. It doesn't matter. You lived for 3 years outside those black boundaries, your center of life somewhere else. Now, if you came to Jerusalem from New York and you liked it there, and you were given a house and your life was sponsored by the Israeli government for 2 years, you stay there. And then you discovered summer. Our Augusts are merciless. It hits 40 degrees. You're like, no, I want to leave. By leaving, you will never leave. You will never have Jerusalem to stop being the center of your life. Who lose Jerusalem as the center of their life? The people that Jerusalem has always been the center of their life. And that's permanent residents of Jerusalem. There is a very confusing reality happening in the occupied West Bank. In the city of Ramallah, we have an 87 years old man, recognized, I think, by Poland also as the president of Palestine. He lives in one city. The blue areas of the map are considered areas A, where Palestinians were allowed to have a Palestinian government that cares for civil services as well as police. So we have Palestinian police. The police in the city centers is allowed to do whatever police is allowed to do here in Łódź, except for one thing: provide protection for Palestinian civilians from the Israeli army. Who is there to protect us from the Israeli army? The Israeli army. The brown areas are called Area B. Palestinian communities, towns, and villages away from city centers. Palestinian authorities are allowed to provide civil services to the residents of those communities, not allowed to have police in control. The rest of the area is called Area C. It's under direct control of the Israeli government in terms of police control and civil control. He was separated into more than 125 separate places or communities. The State of Israel created more than 730 military checkpoints. Some of them are manned 24/7, some of them are manned whenever the soldier feel like. If our president wants to come from Ramallah to Bethlehem, as the Christmas protocol suggests, he has to come on Israeli-controlled roads. There are checkpoints on the road. It's down to the Israeli soldier on the checkpoint to allow our president to pass or not to pass, which means any Israeli soldier has superior authority to the authority of the president of Palestine. And that's only the third Israeli regime. The fourth Israeli regime is forced upon Gaza. It used to be a military rule until the year 2005. And then after 2005, a war criminal goes by the name Ariel Sharon decided to, make it a bit better. They recognize Gaza to be a hostile entity. Now, what's the difference? Under military rule, you are a target at the age of 14, and that's legal. If you are a resident of a hostile entity, you are a target the day you are born. That's it. Who lives in Gaza? Members of families that were expelled from more than 240 Palestinian communities, prevented by the State of Israel from going back to their family property, and prevented by Egypt from going any further into Egypt. Like when you look at the atrocities being committed now in Gaza, you see, why don't Egypt open the border? I was like, well, they're honoring their decisions from 1949. It's not something new. Egypt is ruled by a dictatorship that doesn't care about 100 million Egyptians. Why on earth should they care about 2 million Palestinians? Why? In all those four systems, the State of Israel maintains the domination of those who are born to Jewish families over those who are born to Palestinian families. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are, what your ideas are, what your behavior is. Nothing matters. You are born into it. You will die through it. Your behavior is irrelevant. And just like every single system of oppression, the subject of oppression are blamed for it, just like any other situation of oppression. We are not kind survivors of Israeli oppression. Now, besides the crime of genocide as being carried out by the State of Israel, and as like many Israelis got away with it, and getting away with it, and will get away with it. There's a crime of forced population transfer, that the State of Israel got away with it, getting away with it, will get away with it. There is the third crime against humanity. So that's the full book of crimes against humanity. And it's called the crime of apartheid. The crime of apartheid is a crime that takes place when the regime in control creates a system of domination of one group of people over the other for the reason of race, ethnicity, faith, or language. The State of Israel takes the element of faith, weaponizes it, turns it into a genetic marker, and applies it on the land of Palestine. When defenders, supporters, and beneficiaries of Israeli criminal behavior go around saying, Israel does not commit the crime of apartheid, that's 100% correct, because the State of Israel does not commit one crime of apartheid. It commits 4 that go on every single day. If you are born to a Palestinian family, you are subject to it. If you are born to a Jewish family, you are a beneficiary of it. What you do between birth and death is irrelevant. The question is, how can they get away with it? Logistically, not ethically. Because I know human beings can get away with all kinds of crimes and savagery. I think this land is a witness to that. The State of Israel controls every inch of the land of Palestine, so they keep Palestinians separated. Palestinians in the occupied West Bank are separated from Palestinians in Jerusalem, separated from Palestinians in Nazareth or Gaza. And we are separated. The second thing, the State of Israel controls birth certificates, birth registrations, because you need to have a different label. In South Africa, the label was a birth label, which is your skin color. In Palestine, it's a label that you have to carry on you every single day when you are 16. And that's your birth certificate. If you are born to a Palestinian family, you are subject to Israeli apartheid from the day you are born until the day you die. Genocide, murder, elimination of Palestinians is nothing more than maintaining those 4 savage regimes. The rest is distraction. If you like to enjoy a debate over the blood of Palestinians, enjoy it. If you want to have a set of beliefs where reality is not reality, have it. It doesn't really matter what you think, it doesn't matter what you do. Those are 4 systems that are set to turn Palestine into a land without people. And I'll stop here and ask for questions. Thank you for listening.